Can I sing this song?
Thank you, Priscilla, for the generous introduction.
You're welcome.
Happy to see everyone here. It appears we have a number of people from different countries. Priscilla, you've done a good job promoting the group.
Thank you very much.
People from Nigeria, South Africa. I heard someone say he's from South Africa. And so happy to have all of you on board. And I hope I meet all of your expectations at the end of the day. So we'll just jump right into it. I'll be sharing my screen. If at any point you lose contact in terms of audio or so, just do let me know and I'll come back to it. Okay, so as Priscilla mentioned, my name is Adam Seshi. I'm a co-founder and partner at Famous Advisory. What we basically do is we advise investors who are looking to establish their business in Africa. We predominantly are based in Ghana, but we do have an office in Nigeria. We offer three main services for businesses or local companies that are looking to expand. So market research services, business compliance, and trade development. The two, business compliance, we help with company setups, helping you meet all your regulatory requirements and all. Market research, we provide you with information for you to be able to assess and expand your reach in the market. Trade development, what we do basically is to promote, connect local companies with foreign companies, help foreign businesses that are looking for potential partners within the region, find them. And for local companies who are also looking to expand out, we help them with partner search. So that's they say 8 to 5 on a weekly basis. So we'll get started with the presentation on writing a business proposal. I know Priscilla asked a question on how many pages you have, the ideal number of pages for a business proposal. I hope that at the end of it, we'll be able to get an understanding of how it's supposed to be. So what we'll be covering will be what a business proposal is, the objectives of a business proposal, how to write a business proposal, tips on writing a business proposal, common mistakes to avoid, and then I'll show you a few two templates that you can use. So a business proposal is actually a formal document that you send to a potential client, detailing how its products and services can be fulfilled. So generally what happens is a document is sent looking for business funding or technical assistance in whichever form that you want, depending on what kind of business you are doing. So there are proposals that are sent by entities that are more focused on social interventions, and there are proposals that are sent by a business entity that is potentially looking for funding, technical assistance from an organization or trying to get business from another company that is there. So that is what a business proposal is. There are two forms of business proposal. So there is a solicited proposal and then unsolicited. So the solicited proposals are ones that, let's say you have a company asking you to send in a proposal on, in those instances, they would have identified a problem and then ask that, okay, help us find a solution to that problem. So they'll give you a TOR, a reference for you to follow. So those state the specifications of what they want to see in that proposal. Then there's the unsolicited proposal where you are there and then you pick a company, you say, okay, this company does this and that. They they might be having this kind of problem. So then you bring out what the problem is, and then you try to offer them a solution. It could on the social side of things, it could be there's a group or something that you are planning to do for a group of people, and then you are probably looking for either technical assistance or funding for it. So you identify the problem of the group, and then you write to whoever provides funding or technical assistance on what problem you have identified and what solutions that you can offer for that group to develop or grow. So that is for the unsolicited proposal. The solicited one usually comes in forms of tenders. That is probably most likely published in newspapers, websites, among other places. So characteristic for a solicited proposal is it is requested for. There is a specific need that the issuer has most likely identified and wants people to help them solve. And then there is also a specific requirement and guidelines on how you should put the proposal together. So sometimes the UNDP might put out a tender for maybe a program for the youth or food security or something, and then they'll ask that, okay, consultants do apply for it to show how they can go about solving those problems. So for just a sample of a solicited proposal. So the Ghana Health Service intends to hire the service of a research firm for a project in child mortality. So Ghana Health Service invites research companies to provide a technical and financial proposal focus on conducting an in-depth research on the cause of child mortality in Ghana. So then they attach a documentary. So it goes along those lines. So those are that will most likely be published on their website or in a newspaper. And those consultants are then invited, or companies are then invited to do. Or if you have a development organization, they'll tell you, okay, we have this project that we've been working on. We want consultants or individuals to come in and help maybe address one particular side of it. It could be training, it could be providing technical assistance, it could be all sorts of things. And then they would ask that, okay, you come in and then you provide that kind of service for them. So that is for the solicited proposal. When we go to the unsolicited, the characteristics, because it is not called for, it is unexpected. So most cases, the companies might probably don't know that those problems exist, but an outsider can see it and say, okay, I noticed that this and this has been going on with your company, but then it is, I can help you solve it. So then you send them a proposal on how you intend to go about it and all that stuff. It also aims to attract the attention of the client or customer, since the customer might not be aware of what the problem is. So it means you would most likely be doing a deep dive into the company to try and see where the problems are, and then you send it. If it's on a social front, let's say the UNDP or UNHCR or the Ghana Health Service have not anticipated a problem in the community, but then you identify that problem in the community, but you feel that, okay, if you bring it to their notice, there could be funding or technical assistance in addressing that problem, you can do it. Then there is what comes with the unsolicited proposal. There's a value proposition that you are making forward to whoever you are sending it to. They might not probably have thought about it, but then you are bringing it to their notice. And then what makes it tick is what value proposition you are presenting to them, that, okay, if we are able to do this, it will solve this problem, which will lead to this, that, and then they'll see growth in whatever they are doing. So for a sample of an unsolicited proposal is when the company, a research firm, aims to establish a business relationship, let's say with a bank. So you've identified that, okay, the bank has their customers have been complaining online. They've not probably thought about doing a customer satisfaction survey, but or they might not have a strong presence online, or their social media team doesn't pick that up. But you, over the years or over the months, have noticed that, okay, there's a constant bashing of that particular bank. So you can then send a proposal to them and say, okay, we noticed that your customers are constantly complaining about the way they are treated in a banking hall or something of that sort. So you send a proposal and say, okay, I want to conduct a customer satisfaction survey for you. First, to identify what the pains of the customers are, and also probably to do a mystery shopping where you go in as an ordinary person looking to open an account and take them through go through the process while recording it, and then getting the management to see what the customers or potential customers have been complaining about. So you put that together, it means that you would have most likely researched into the business, into the bank's operations, and then sent for that proposal. And another could be you're an NGO, you are probably operating a center, and then you identify that, okay, it's either you could be looking at it in two ways. You need money to help push the NGO, or on a specific aspect of what you have been doing, or you're looking for a technical assistant. There are grants and funds out there for such things, but until you probably send it, it will most likely not occur to them. So you could send that an unsolicited proposal, and then they'll have a look at it, and then they'll bring you in for a meeting or something of that sort. So the main objective of a business proposal is to secure business. If you are a business entity looking to get some business with other clients, your main aim is to secure business. If you're a social group or an NGO, it's to be for funding or technical assistance. It's also to sell your product or service to potential customers. The most often, what I've noticed is some companies do not know they need certain services, or they've constantly be looking for companies to do provide those kind of services for them. So you highlighting those problems that you've identified about them, you will be selling yourself out. Even if they are not ready, then they know that, okay, they have there's a company that's able to provide that kind of service for them at a later time. It builds credibility because you are demonstrating your understanding of what pains they go through or what challenges they face, and then they begin to trust you and then allow you to undertake those kind of services for them. It also builds a relationship with you and then your potential prospect. So those are the objectives of sending out a business proposal. Comes to the document itself. For the solicited proposal, what usually happens is they would give you specifications to follow. So all that is spelled out in the terms of reference that will be sent out to you. If there is a tender out there, they'll send all that to you, and they'll give you specifically what you are supposed to include in it. So once you follow that, you are building the documents one way or the other. But if you are going for the unsolicited proposal, it's like a blank sheet. So what do? You need to have a title. So proposal for this, that to that, and then you have a table of content. So you spell out your company's name, the name of the company that is going to you include a table of content so there's the cover page, and the page that follows will be your table of content. Then you have the introduction. So the introduction for an unsolicited proposal You give them details about your company. At least you need to introduce yourself and let them know that, okay, this is who you are, this is what you've done before, and then they have a sense of who you are. Then you go into why you are sending out the proposal. So the example of, let's say, a bank that I used, you notice that the objectives of you sending that would be, you notice that it's for them to improve their customer relation and probably have a higher net promoter score when it comes to their bank. Then, because you've identified the problem that for which you are sending this proposal, you need to write a problem statement. So the problem statement in terms of the bank would have been, okay, you've noticed that constantly they are being bashed online by customers for lack of service. So you've identified that that is a major problem on their brand and all that stuff. So because of that, you are bringing this proposal. So in doing it, it's usually what we have noticed, or what I've noticed, is if somebody sends me a proposal, most often the one thing that I'm most interested in is the problem statement. If I read a problem statement and I identify with it, I'm more eager to call you in for us to have a discussion on it. So the problem statement is very key. You need to really research and identify what the problem is, and what then before you are able to propose the solution you have in mind in solving it. So it's critical to understand for whatever proposal you are sending out, it's critical to understand the problem that you are looking to solve. So having a good understanding of how to write a problem statement, or what the problem of the organization is very key. That is the critical part of a proposal writing. So then you go into the proposal. Then over there, what you do is, yes, I've identified your problem, or there's this problem that I'm trying to solve. How are you going to go about it? So in that regard, what you do is you provide them you outline your methodology. So if still using the example of the bank, if I'm to do it, I'll tell them, okay, I know your customers are saying this and this about you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to interview about 1,000 of your customers to get their feedback on their experiences over the years. I'll have a focus group discussion with a few of the customers to understand their needs, meaning that with that, I'll be going deep into what problems they've been facing saving with the bank. So based on that, I get a good understanding of the methods will lead to the solution that I'm proposing, and then the approach by which I'll go by it. So I'll have telephone interviews with them. I'll bring them in for a focus group, or I'll decide that, okay, I will group the customers in different regions and then go to them one by one. So all that shows your experience in what you are proposing to do. Then you also look at the capacity to deliver and the solutions that you are professing. So it's very important that before you do so, by having a good understanding of what the problem is, you have to internally sit down and say, okay, what solutions can we propose to solve these problems? And then you outline those ones in the proposal. It's also very key for them to have a very good understanding of your qualifications and experience. So you will have to put your team members and the unique skills that each of them have. So the resources at your disposal to undertake it is very key. People look at that and then they say, okay, these people have probably done it before. If you are a new company, but you have, so what most people do is, if they don't, so there might be a lead person, and then they bring in other professionals to join the team. So the qualifications and then the experience of those professionals is key. since they look at what they've done in the past, their ability to do what they say they can do, and all that. So that leads to you being able to provide a solution for the problem that you have identified. Another key component of the proposal is your pricing. If you are sending someone a problem and your solutions, they would want to understand how much it's going to cost them. If it's for a business entity, they would want to understand how much it's going to cost them. If it's for a social intervention that you are proposing to undertake, your pricing, the receiving authority would want to know, okay, how much it will cost for you to undertake that project, and then they'll look at their budget and say, okay, we've allocated, let's say, this amount of money for such interventions. So it's key to price what the cost of whatever problem you've identified, whatever solutions you are proposing, for them to have a look at it. Then there is a call to action that would move the conversation to the next stage. So that could be a meeting to explain into details further what you intend to do and how all the pieces fit together. So in writing your proposal, because it's a solution thing that you are proposing for people, you need to have enough data and factual insights to support what you are saying. Say it's a social intervention that you are trying to get one of the agencies to invest in. You need to let them know what the cost of that has been. Let's say children not going to school. What's the number of children in the community? What's the number that is not going to school? What is the effect of that? Is that leading to teenage pregnancy because the poverty cycle? So you need to have information and data to support whatever you are sending out, and to make it more vivid and for easy interpretation, it's good to use infographics. So maybe a chart to say, so if it's what's the name? Let's say it's a social intervention, you have a chart that says, okay, children not going to school will lead to teenage pregnancy and all those things, which will lead to unwanted, all sorts of things. And then they visualize it and see how intense it is, what the problem is. Sometimes people read, but then do not understand what you are saying. But when you put it in a graphic form, they can visualize. So being able to visualize the problem, being able to visualize the solutions they are proposing, gives them a very good sense of what you are saying, and then they can then proceed with you. You need to conduct a very good research into it for you to have your facts in order to meet whatever, to answer whatever questions they might have at you. So if it's the bank, you can, before you do your research into, let's say, what other banks are doing to keep their customers happy, so that when they meet you and you say, okay, I know your competitors are doing that, then that you guys don't do that. So you have a good understanding of whatever the problem you've identified and you are telling them, and then that gives you credibility. If it's an unsolicited proposal, it's always good to personalize it to whoever you're sending it to. So use your logo, use their logo, play with their emotions. So you realize that most companies have core values that they follow. Play with those core values. They identify with those words better, and then it brings the message you're trying to send across home to them better. So be clear and concise. Don't be too verbose with it. Don't write so many words. A lot of people don't have time to read a lot of things, honestly. So keep it short, keep it clear, keep it clean. Let them see the problem and identify with the problem very early. Let them not read too much before they get a sense of what you are doing. So one way of doing that is probably using infographics. When you draw relations between a problem solution and is visual, it's easy for the mind to clearly see where you are going, and then based on that they can identify more with it. Because it's a professional proposal you are sending out, keep the design and all that very professional. So keep it clean, keep it professional. The choice of colors is very key. If some people tend to play with the colors of the organization they are sending with, so that it draws the emotions of it. But then there are certain professional colors that everybody probably identifies with. Don't go for the overboards. So don't use the wild colors. Just keep it clean, fresh and smart, and then they can get a good understanding of what you are trying to say. So there are mistakes that people do when they are sending out proposals. One of the things you need, the clarity, your language and everything should be simple and easy for somebody to understand. Don't If you can avoid all the big words, you can take them out. Keep it easy, keep it clean, keep it soft for somebody to read and understand easily. Some people are not impressed with the big words and all that stuff. Don't also send a generalized proposal. So let's say you are looking for funding for a project. I know that UNDP does it, DENIDA has funding and other stuff. Don't do one proposal and send to all of them. So that proposal might go, the general proposal might go, usually goes like to whom it is concerned. Keep out those ones. Personalize the proposal that you are sending to people. So if it is to, let's say, to Amasewa, let's say you are sending a proposal to, is like when you're dating 5 girls and you want to propose to one of them, you don't send a general proposal to one of you. Personalize it. It's okay. Ama, Rachel, Priscilla, this and that. It's the same for business. If you are sending a proposal to Standard Chartered, you personalize it for Standard Chartered. So in that regard, you might probably look at the colors of Standard Chartered, the things that draw them in. You play with their emotions. If it's to APSA, you look at the colors of APSA. What are the core values of APSA? What are they more interested in, and all that stuff? So you keep it personalized to whoever you are sending it to. It's important to set realistic targets in whatever you do. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Usually, you just give them targets you know very well you can achieve, and then add on to it. So let's say you have planned to help. You've been given funding. You are proposing to let's say feed what's the name, 100 street children, and you're looking for funding for that. Don't say, oh, the money they are going to give you would feed 500. No, keep it at 100. But if you know very well that, okay, with that money, you can add 50 more. At the end of the day, when they are when you are giving your results, you say, okay, even though the target was 100, we were able to do 50 extra. That is more fulfilling and increases your credibility rather than saying, oh, we are going to do 1,000, but at the end of the day, you do only 100. Your credibility is at stake, and then there are chances they will not come back to you. But if you under-promise and you over-deliver, the credibility is improved, and you know that, okay, you can efficiently use resources when given to you, and they'll be more than happy and willing to do that when you go back to them and all that. One other thing that people do is, okay, in a haste, they don't truly proofread their proposal. So there are proposals that will be sent to you, and then you realize that there are a lot of mistakes in it. I mean, attention to details is what most companies will be looking for. If there are mistakes in whatever you are sending out, they'll just cancel you out. They'll know that, okay, yes, your methodology might be good and all that stuff, but then your understanding, you be able to critically examine things might be in. So then they'll go like, okay, if they're making a mistake in proposal that they are sending us, will we be able to trust the results that they'll present to us at the end of it? So attending to details, being able to proofread and before you send out the proposal to whoever is going to. Sometimes you can do a peer review. I think I went off while talking about the common mistakes to avoid. So I'll take that bit again. And then we continue from there. I hope you can all hear me still.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. So I'm going to take that bit again, and then we move on from there. I mentioned that it needs to be, there should be clarity in language that you send out. Keep it simple for people to easily understand and have a sense of what you are saying. I also mentioned that you should not generalize the proposal. Don't send out generalized proposals to several people. Personalize it. Play with the emotions of whoever you are sending it to. Look at their colors, look at their value proposition, look at their core values, and play with those things. They would most likely identify with it, and then would be ready to call you for a meeting or something of that sort. If you generalize it, it is not. They don't feel the importance of it, so then they don't take it serious. Keep realistic targets and that promise and over deliver. Always have that in mind. If you miss your target on the things you say you're going to do, you lose credibility. There are chances that they'll never call you again. So have a very realistic target, set realistic targets in the solutions you are proposing, and then over deliver on those ones. Make sure you do checks on the document by proofreading and making sure that there are no mistakes in it. Attention to details is very key, because most companies would look at it and say, okay, if you are making mistakes in the proposal you are sending to us, will you be able to deliver a very good result for us? Your attention to details also comes in order for you to be able to identify things or trends while you are undertaking the project. So this is a sample proposal template. So let's say I'm sending out a proposal to a bank to tell them that, okay, I want to do customer satisfaction for them. So this is the content of it. I'll have an introduction about the proposal, why I'm sending it to them. Then when it comes, why I'm sending it to them, the proposed scope of what I intend to do and how I'm going to go about it, all we stated in there. I'll tell them the targets that I have in mind and what I'm proposing to do. I'll share with them also my team that will be working on it, because it's key for them to understand who to see if they have the qualifications to do it. and then what I've done in the past. Your past experience is usually very important. Sometimes you might be working for, you might be a group of people who might have come together to want to do a proposal for an organization. Yes, the company or agency that you might have set up might not have the experience, but then the individuals who are working, who form the team, you should highlight their experience in having undertaken such projects in the past. So the pricing, what the proposed price budget for the project will be, and then there's a call to action, and that will get them to call it. So usually it looks like this: the introduction, what the proposal is about, the scope of work, what you intend to do for them, the people you intend to target, your value, the value proposition, the team, the experience you have, those that you have done it for in the past, or those that you work with, or projects that you have been with, then your pricing and all that, then just put that together. I also put together a simple template where you can start your proposal writing it. So you fill out this and then you expand on it. So a problem summary, you still talk about the problem that you've identified, the product. If it's a company, the product that you realize has a problem, and then what will be the benefit to them. So that is the value proposition. It should always, at the end of the day, if they are going to be paying you, is because they feel that you're adding a value. So what will be in for them, and it's about them. So what is in for them? Then part of it, you have whatever it is, the time, the pricing information. After you have proposed your solutions, your pricing information, and then you give timelines as well, and then conclusions. If you have terms and conditions, in terms of payment stuff, let's say they give you this percentage of whatever money you are requesting for after it's been agreed upon, and then when you get to a certain level, you get paid again on all that stuff. So basically, this is the simple presentation on proposal writing. I'm now ready to take questions, and then we can make it as interactive as possible.
Can hear you. Kindly go ahead.
Okay. I said thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I said thank you so much for the presenter. He has really done it. My question is, how is the founder who owns a business company without experience on this proposal presentation? How do you guys, because we talked about making your experience, how can such an individual go about that? If maybe the business proposal you are writing is actually your first proposal, so how do you go about mixing other experiences when they don't have one?
It depends on what proposal you are writing. If it's for a business entity, it means practically you've been working for some time. So what has your work experience been in relation to what you are proposing to do for a company? So let's say Somida, may I know what you do? I want to use an example for you to see it clearly.
Okay, sir. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm into solar installation.
You are into what? Solar?
Yes. Solar installation. And I've actually been doing work for people, but there's not been a time I have written a business proposal, like to a company or to an individual. It's just like, okay, maybe this contract comes and I do it, and that's just so. If I want to write a business proposal now, either for funding or assistance or to get the contract, I'm asking, how do do I go about it?
So you are into solar installations. Is that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if you want to write a proposal to a company, what would you want to propose to them so that I make it more practical?
My proposal would be about electricity. Yeah. So,
Okay,
is
so
it part of the
say
yeah.
so you are into solar installations and all. I know Nigeria has issues with electricity because I have an office there, and I had solar installed in the office. So if you are supposed to propose, an unsolicited proposal from you would be okay. So you've gone around, let's say, Lekki area, and you've identified that there are, let's say, 10 companies on this stretch of on the Admiralty Road. They don't, when the power goes out, they use the genset comes on. That is a lot of noise in that area. But a more convenient and proper way will be solar installation. So you just write a proposal to them that, okay, in your case, what you have to do will be to do an analysis of what the cost of a gen set and the cost of running a gen set as against the cost of you installing solar for them. Do you get it? So the problem that they would be facing is the NEPA problem would always be there, but then their immediate solution was generator because they feel that it's easy to get fuel. But what is happening in Nigeria now is fuel prices are going up every now and then. So then your proposition is okay, the use of solar. So in your case, the problem that they are facing is the high cost of fuel in running the gen sets. They'll be paying quite a lot of money for that. So your solution would be, okay, I can do a solar installation for you, which will cost you this amount of money. And you don't have to be buying fuel to fuel your gen set. So that even though the prices of fuel will be going up, you are going to be saving on it. So you need in your case, you need to do that analysis before you use that as a distance for the proposal. So when you do it that way, you send it to them. Now, in your case, you can look at it this way. Do they have to pay the whole amount there and then? You can decide to split it. Okay, you can pay the first installment. We'll do the setup for you, and then you can spread the rest over 6 months. That is a sweetener when it comes to the deal for them. They'll look at it and say, okay, I might not have all this amount of money to pay for it now, but I can squeeze this amount to get it started and spread the rest over the period. And that would be a good proposal to send out to the companies around.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next hand up is John. Mr. John, is it Etonam? Yes. Please, you can go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So let's say I'm writing a proposal for to a company that wouldn't benefit me. Say I'm doing it for a charity organization or something like that. And or let's see, the presenter cited an example of customer satisfaction for a bank and stuff like that. I want to ask here, in this case, the benefit goes to the bank. So I want to ask, what is my own advantage? What is it in for me?
They are going to make money.
That they are going to pay me for rendering the service.
Yes, to undertake that service for them, yes.
So, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yabonga Baloy. Kindly unmute yourself. Yes.
Hi, I wanted to ask which suitable tools would you recommend in maybe designing a business proposal, including creating those visually appealing images? Yeah.
I think Microsoft Word has a template already in that you can use. There's also what's the name? PowerPoint also has. And now there are new, let's say, AI-powered stuff that are coming out. So Canva also has templates that you can use for infographics and all. I know there are quite a lot of slide apps that you can. Some are free, others you pay for, and then you can use those ones to do a very good graphic representation of what you want to send out there. So there are a lot of free stuff online that you can use. So you can look at Canva. PowerPoint has one. Word also has, and you can just play with those ones, and it should give you a good graphic. And I think AI too has made things pretty easy. So you could also get some AI tools that can present your thoughts in a graphical way, and then you can use that for your proposal.
Yeah, so someone is also asking, how many pages should a business proposal have? From Somadina.
I think in order to keep it short, if you can keep everything within 5 pages, it's fair. Except for those ones, the solicited proposals, where they have a specification as to what you need to add, what information you should add. For that one, you don't have a limit. But even that, I've realized that some of them actually do limit you to the number of pages. So they try to make it as concise as possible for you to feed in information to just quick and reliable information in there, and some keep it at between 5 to 10 pages. But if you are sending out an unsolicited one, I think 5 pages max should be good enough. If you use a lot of graphics, it reduces your words, so that reduces the number of pages you need to set up.
Okay, someone is asking, how is the financial plan of your proposal and your return on investment, your ROI? Please, that's another question.
Okay. So if you are sending out a proposal to, let's say, to a bank that you want to do customer satisfaction for them, you should understand your cost of undertaking that project. So definitely you're not doing it for charity, but you're doing it in order to do. So if your cost of doing it is let's say 1,000 cities, it's always ideal to maybe add a markup of about 20 to 30% as markup for your profit. Don't forget that by our nature, they'll definitely come back and then ask for a reduction. So that would factor all that in. So usually a markup of 20 to 30 should be good enough for your cost of undertaking the project.
Thank you. Is any other questions? You're welcome, George. All right, so thank you all so much for joining. I'm to the end of today's presentation. I believe that we have learned a lot where people are done. So I guess we shall call it a day. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Edem Seshi for taking time off his busy schedule to teach us really in depth on how to write a winning business proposal. He's been so supportive when it comes to Push Leads Arena, and we would like to use this platform to say that we are very, very grateful. I'd also like to thank all of us for making it here. It has been amazing having you all on board. Also, I would like to thank God because He made it possible for us to have this meeting. And so we shall end with a closing prayer by saying that we thank God for all that He has done for us, and we ask that all that we have learned, we will be able to apply it to our various businesses. If you have any questions that you would like to DM our resource person about it, you can let us know, and then we can facilitate communication. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best.
Priscilla, thanks a lot. Always a delight joining you. Have a nice weekend, everyone.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.